With National Buttermilk Biscuit today. Nothing goes better with buttermilk biscuits than beef stew. Well, except for eggs and bacon. Maybe gravy, sausage gravy. Alright, anything goes better with biscuits. But I'm gonna make my beer and fennel beef stew. So what I started with was some vegetable oil and a couple tablespoons of butter in my pan. And we're going to brown our meat. We're going to brown this really good. So we're going to cook this until it's nice and brown, and then we're going to add our other vegetables in a little bit. Alright, our meat is browned. For the most part, it's almost brown. So we're going to take it out and we're going to put it in the bowl here. I'm going to drain it. Now this roast that I got, it was a really fatty roast. So it is lots of fat in here, but to me the fat adds flavor. So I like the fat. I did not trim the fat. But yeah, this one was a really fatty roast. I'm going to get this meat out of here. Alright, so there's our meat there. To the pot we're going to add a medium-sized onion chopped. I'm getting down to the last of my onions from our garden last year. I mean, this is like 7-8 months that my onions have lasted in the burlap sack over the winter. So I'm so excited. It's almost planting season. Almost planting season. So we can get the onions in the garden here soon. I can't wait to start my garden. So we're going to do about three cloves of garlic in here. Maybe a little bit more because I like the garlic. Keeps them vampires away. Alright. So we're going to cook those until they're softened. Alright. So we're going to cook these until they're softened, and then we'll add the rest of our stuff. Alright, so now that this is a nice and translucent, everything is soft, we're going to add the stuff to make our broth. Normally, my recipe is 6 cups of water, but I've got some beef broth that was in the refrigerator I wanted to use up. So we'll use this up, and then we'll add the rest in water. So we're going to do 6 cups of liquid, whatever you use. There's 2. Alright, so we'll make this up with water. Alright, let me give you a couple more here. Alright. And there's 6 cups of liquid. Half of it was my beef broth that I wanted to use up. Then we're going to add a can of beer. So, luckily I had a can of beer left over from a trip. So we're going to add a can of beer. Oh, look at that. That is so wonderful. Alright. Then we're going to add 1 bay leaf, or let's do our beef broth first. Usually it's 6 tablespoons of beef broth. I don't have that much left. So I'm going to put in whatever I have, and if I have, I'm going to get some more at the store later. Usually it's 6 tablespoons of my beef base. I love this stuff. I live by this stuff too. And then we've got, let me check my recipe here. I think it's 2 teaspoons of bouillon. Yep, 2 teaspoons of bouillon here. Beef bouillon granules. Then we're going to do a couple teaspoons of garlic powder. I like garlic. Love it. Alright. We're going to do 1 bay leaf. We're going to get 1 bay leaf in there. Come on, get out of there. Alright, so we've got 1 bay leaf, and that's going in there. Whoop. Okay. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of fennel. I think I've got just 2 tablespoons in here. Maybe less, but we'll go with it. And they don't have any here in town. But with this, I love fennel. I love the smell of it. Just love it. Ooh. So what I like to do with my fennel is I like to put it in my use my mortar and pestle and grind it up, open it up, so that, yeah, the more you grind it, it's more aroma comes out of it. So we grind it up. We don't want to grind it too thin. We just want to open up those seeds. Oh, that's so good. Love it. So we're going to put our fennel in there that we've ground up a little, opened it up, and I can already smell it. The fennel and the beer go so well together. So we're going to bring this to a boil. Let me check my recipe again to make sure. I actually created this recipe myself. Alright, well, we got our liquid in there, beef-based bouillon, beer, and that's it. That's it. So we're going to bring this to a boil. I'll turn the heat up so we can get a faster boil on it. Oh, that smells so good. That's going to be really great with our biscuits. All right, our broth is coming to a simmer now. Our beef broth and water and beer is coming to a simmer. Oh, you can smell the beer, you can smell the fennel. It smells wonderful. So we're going to add our beef back into this here. This is a really easy recipe. I love how easy this recipe is. It's just going to take a lot of time, because now we're going to bring this to a little bit of a boil again. We're going to turn it down. We're going to let it simmer for 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Yes, it takes that long, but it's super easy and it's really good. So, let me find my lid here for this pot. Oh, I'm getting too old to bend over. And you know what? I will have one of the kids find the pot for me. So we'll come back later and we will add the rest of our stuff. Right, so we've let our beef stew boil for about 1.5 hours now. So it should be good to go. I'm not worried about it. We're going to make a real quick roux to thicken it up a bit. So I've got 1/2 cup of warm water. And I've got 1 cup of flour. Let's do this, make it a little easier. And 1 cup of flour. I should have used something else for this, but oh well, it works. It'll work. Oh, maybe that's a little bit much. Maybe not a full cup of flour. We'll mix it up and see how it goes. I love making my roux in a mason jar with a lid. I can just shake it up really good. Let's see how thick that is. Ooh, that's too thick. We're going to add some more water here real quick. I think my measurements were off with this one. I may have to re-look at that again. Alright, so there we go. Got a nice roux. See how thick that is? We'll add a little more flour. There we go. All right, so this is gonna thicken up our stew real quick. I'm gonna whisk here. It's boiling really good. So we're gonna stir that roux in as I whisk this around. And as it cooks, it's gonna thicken up a little bit. Darn it, I've got chunks of roux in there. Oh well. We'll shake this up a little bit more. Those should cook out of there. I'm not too worried about it. Those will cook out. There. That's nice and smooth there. Alright, so we're going to let this thicken up a little bit. Wash my hands here. I did pick up some more beef base for my stew here. Woo! Almost dumped that out. Oh, and this smells so good. I'm going to taste it real quick to see if it does need the base, and I'm thinking it's going to need it. Yep, it's going to need the base. So, here. 1, 2, 3. We'll call that 4 more tablespoons there. All right, we'll get our salt and pepper in there to taste. Oh, that's empty. We'll do pepper straight from the can. Oops, my tasting spoon went away. Oh, that is much better. Yeah. That is much better. All right. Get out of there. Get out of there. All right, so now we're going to add 6 russet potatoes. I peeled them, cubed them, washed them. They're going in. Then I got these little bitty baby carrots. I love these little carrots. They're so cute. Those are going to go in. I don't put too many of those in because my kids complain about there being vegetables in there. So we can't have vegetables in our beef stew. All right, so we're going to cover this again, and we're going to let it cook for about a half hour or so until the potatoes and carrots are tender, and then we'll come back and check on it. So our beef stew is done. It's not as thick as I'd like it to be, but it tastes and smells wonderful. So we've got our beef chunks in there, carrots, we've got potatoes, fennel, bay leaves. Look at that. And how wonderful that is. We've got our biscuits, our buttermilk biscuits to go on the side. And just kind of let that sink in there a little bit. So this is my beer and fennel beef stew and homemade buttermilk biscuits. Thanks. Have a happy National Buttermilk Biscuit Day, and we'll see you next time.